Welcome to another episode of Tormenta Talk. We are La Tormenta, the supporters group for West Texas FC out here in Midland, Texas. I'm joined by the ever faithful Chris Haig and Brian Hodnett. Gents, it's been a while since we recorded. You know, our season kind of has ended, but and then we kind of get on to a lot of our like normal life summer plans. But you guys doing all right?
Yeah, doing well. Been busy. So kind of, as you said, summer plans, summer travels ended or coincided right with the end of the season, which was a little bit tough for me personally, but doing well otherwise.
Yep. Traveling, school's out, and trying to get the kids on last vacation, you know, fun stuff like that. So, back to the grind soon.
That's right. Yeah, and it's such a short season. You know, we talk a lot about that and just kind of all the challenges that are inherent with that. But today we're going to kind of wrap up the season as a whole. We're going to kind of throw some teasers out for the future. But first, let's just talk about kind of, our final game of the season. You know, it's one of those that was just a brutal match. You know, we get to feel a little bit of what the Docs up north felt, and it's tough, man. So just kind of curious, you know, we haven't really had a chance to download too much, but I know for myself personally, being at that game, it was a roller coaster. I know the supporters were all there. It was a great showing. We were loud and proud. The team up north brought a lot of people. You know, it was a proper derby, and to lose that game in the way that we did, you know, it was just it was tough, man. I mean, but luckily we got to hug a lot of the players afterward. They were, you know, all apologizing, and you know, this is just how football is sometimes. It's just, it can be, it can give you the highest of highs, and sometimes it just kind of pulls the rug out from under you. But it's nice kind of taking a little time to reflect on the season as a whole, and that game isn't super fresh. But just kind of curious, you know, I know both of you guys weren't there for the game, but obviously locked into kind of what was going on. But what was y'all's experience? Chris, you want to kick it off?
Yeah. I was out of town, as I said, had some travel plans, and can't complain. I was in San Juan, Puerto Rico, so hanging out, but was bummed not to be there at the game, obviously. Interestingly, though, I got to see most of the second half, really a good majority of the second half. But I was at dinner with my family, checked the score in the Uber on the way back to our Airbnb, and I think at that point it was 0-1. Like we were trailing, right? Got back to the Airbnb, put it on a computer, and at that point we were up 2-1. And then just watch the rest of the game unfold, right? Which is, as you said, man, it's a gut-wrenching loss. Like that's tough. And I think we've been this year, we were on the opposite side of some really hard-fought games, including against that team from up north, as well as the game in Oklahoma. We had some close games, some really hard-fought games, and sometimes it goes the other direction. And in my limited playing years, many years ago, I had similar games where it's like a really just tough loss, or it kind of breaks down at the end of the game. And it's really hard. And like, I remember specific games from when I was, you know, a teenager, where it's like, you just can't shake that. And it's a little bit of a bitter feeling, bitter taste to kind of end the season that way. But, I'm glad to hear you guys connected with the fans, because that's what I was disappointed not to be there, or to connected with the players, right? All the players connected with fans. I was disappointed not to be there and like connect with them and that sort of thing, because still just so proud of the guys and how hard they fought in this game and throughout the entire season.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about you, Brian?
Yeah, we had a trip to Austin planned, so we were actually in Q2 Stadium. I'm wearing my West Texas FC jersey with my phone, looking up every once in a while. I was like, oh, they're cheering. Cool. What do we got here? So I watched pretty much the entire match, from the first goal that Lovey got. Tough one, little misplay there. You know, is what it is. Then we rally up with the 2, have a PK stopped. That was kind of tough. And then the tough little spot there at the end that drew us into extras. You know, losses like that, they're not easy to swallow. especially when you're not there. That was a tough one that night. We went back to the hotel. We were watching it, still walking in the extra time, and then the game ended once we got back to the hotel after the Austin FC match. And just, it was an ending to the season that I don't think I expected. The boys fought, coaches coached. Didn't go our way. It's football, sport, right? But I felt like we had more. Just it's the way this one goes, man. So now, season's wrapped. It's on for the next one. Starting to game plan and prepare, and let's see what 2026 does for us.
Yeah, that's right. And it really felt that last goal that sent us into extra time just took the wind out of the whole stadium. Or one.
One half.
All but one section. Yeah. And it was a tough one, man, because of the way that at first it was a goal. Oh, we're bummed. They called offsides. We still won the game. Oh, wait, the goal counts. It was just such a that's why I say a roller coaster. It was all within, minutes. It was crazy. And then and the whole match was hard fought, right? Like, so you just, I don't know, we in the stands, I don't think I sat for any time at all. And honestly, the entire supporter section was on their feet the whole game. We had kind of a different crew over there, but it was so encouraging to see just the level of support, for our club. And it made me really, really proud, really, really happy just to kind of look around and see new faces in that section, hearing the tuba behind us. It was just something, it felt like our night. And, like you said, Brian, it just, football's that way sometimes. So, but looking back, I think there's so very much to be proud of, and maybe that's where we can start. Is just when I think about this squad, this team, this coaching staff, I think the thing I'm most proud of is that this year specifically felt like we were all connected. We were all kind of aligned as far as the focus of what the year was all about what the season was all about. Felt like every single player, all 25, 26 players that we kept through the entire season, just knew what everything was about. And it just felt so positive, so encouraging. And I would ride that energy as far as I possibly can. I think it was really special. And I think that even after that last game, you could still feel it from the players. You could still feel it from the fans. The fact that, the game didn't go our way didn't affect that vibe. And that felt like the success of the season to me. But I'm curious from you guys, just what when you look back at the season as a whole, just what are some of your kind of takeaways from it?
I think kind of along the lines of what you're saying, like I could not be more proud of like the culture that was built this year and the way the squad all came together. You said it well. They're all aligned and kind of had that common understanding and goal. And coaching staff did a great job of getting all of these players together and bringing them together and keeping this big group of players all here in town and playing throughout the summer. And just, I loved seeing that, right? Like, just loved seeing that culture and what they brought to the community and how they represented this community as well. So that I was really proud of. And like you said, you could even feel that after this game that didn't go our way, right? And I used to coach high school, and I remember one year when we went to playoffs, a team that we snuck into playoffs. We were in a fourth seed. So we played a first seed and we just got obliterated, right? And I remember after that, one of my players came up to me and said, "Coach, are you still proud of us?" Right? Where it's like, that's what they cared about. And for me, like with this club, like I want a team that I can be proud of and a squad and players and coaches that I can be proud of. And that's what we have. And that's what we had this year. And I think that this community should cherish that and has cherished that, and like that's why we're so excited to do it again, but we have to wait far too long for the next season.
Yeah, well said.
Yep. Excuse me. I'm kind of on the same boat with you fellas. I mean, the wins were nice, the celebrations were fun, but the character we saw in the losses, the character you saw from those young men after the match apologizing. You don't owe anything to me. You don't owe me an apology. You don't owe anybody up here an apology. Played your heart out for 90 plus. But no, you deserve better. No, y'all deserve this. No, y'all are best fans, blah, blah, blah. Every single one, echoing the coach's sentiments. I mean, not a negative word, nothing ugly. You want to talk about doing the right way? Scotty did it the right way. His coaching staff did it the right way. The players did it the right way. We may not have gone as far as we wanted to go, but I can live on character, guys. That right there was high class. And it'll be a season I never forget. And I only look forward to seeing Scotty come back and we build this thing up and go further and further. Because, man, after what we just did, really and truly, sky's the limit in 26.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something different about the energy this year too. It's almost like, you know, when you're kids and you're bouncing on the trampoline with somebody else and they do that thing where they like double bounce you and you launch. It feels like that moment where you're in the air and you see your buddy double bounce you and you're about to just like, you know, it's going to be crazy and scary. Like it's that moment before you launch off. That felt like this season to me. It really felt like, okay, this year, certain things have all kind of come together to really take this to the next level. And I think feeling that, you know, even at every meeting or mixer that kind of happens, you just feel this energy kind of building. And I think that is a lot to do with, you know, it's easy to point at Scotty, but it's also the people who appointed Scotty. It's the club overall. It's the people who have kind of decided this is the vision for what this club is going to be about. And man, I'm like chomping at the bit, like to get things going. And we have a lot of off-season plans that we're going to try to get to. And so now is the time to jump in on La Tormenta and make this part of your thing, right? It's the three of us have kind of spearheaded a lot of the early stuff, but really this is just a launch point for everybody who's passionate about this game, everyone who's passionate about this team. I'm curious, just if we go just to the pitch, right? This is kind of a difficult question to answer, so I'll throw it at you guys first. Player of the season.
That's a tough one because there's a very easy answer out there, just sitting there. But I'm going to bounce.
Who's the easy answer? Just go ahead and say it. Who's the easy answer?
The easy answer is Beto. I mean, conference MVP, conference Golden Boot. Like Beto was incredible. You know.
Yep.
I think that young man is just like such a talent. He was so much fun to watch. But Beto was just awesome. So that's the easy answer, right? He was already recognized, and I loved seeing him recognized at that conference level because it's very much deserved.
No.
Yeah.
You could argue for Leo. If Leo plays the whole season, he's probably up there statistically. But I'm going to say Keegan Grant.
Yep.
I mean, that dude was a monster back there.
Yeah.
He springy, aggressive, smart. I mean, anything and everything you could want from a keeper, that was Keegan Grant. Right? I truly, even with the highlight we did early in the year and everything like that, it wasn't even close to what we saw on the pitch through this season. So, I mean, yes, Alberto for sure, but I want to make sure that Keegan's mentioned in the same breath.
Yeah. I think you could lump the entire goalkeeping like players and the coaching, the goalkeepers this year, and I would throw Santi in there. Like Santi played heavily in the first half of the season. Keegan kind of got the shirt for the second half of the season. But if you look at who never put a foot wrong, it's that goalkeeping staff. And I think a lot of that is due to Mateo too. Our goalkeeping coach. The first year we've really had a dedicated goalkeeping coach. The goalkeeping this season was completely ridiculous. Like there were games where we would have lost had it not been for multiple saves on the back line. And I think you're right that the easy answer is Beto, and for good reason. Right? That guy played out of his boots for a lot of the season. You know, he was dealing with some injury stuff too, and still held it down. Right? And I think that MVP is just beyond well earned. Right? And there were some great players this season for lots of different teams that I think we could point at and say, like, man, that guy was really talented. But Beto was just, he's MVP for a reason. And so sure. I think that's a really good shout. But it's tough, right? Because we all kind of have, we love highlighting the guys that don't get highlighted enough, right? And so the goalkeeping staff, I think, is easy to point at and just be like, those guys, they were like perfect the whole season. It was unreal.
And along the same lines, like with the goalkeeping staff, the defense, as the defense kind of like coalesced and they're like, this is our starters throughout the season, and then towards the end, like the defense played so well, right? And it's hard to pick out just one of them because Axel, Cam, Justin, Ryan, all of them played so well. But I think the one that I would pick out is Ryan. Ryan is just such a hard-working player, right? He's so much fun to watch, bombing up and down the touch line. And I don't remember which game it was. There was a game where he came off after the game, or came over towards the fans after the game, boots off, and like was just hardly walking, right? Because you could tell he had worked so hard and still kept playing through the entire game, but he just worked his ass off every game, and he was really, really fun to watch. And so I loved the way he got involved in the attack, dropped back, defended, and just played gutsy throughout the entire season. And that kind of represents the way the entire back line and defense played.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a really good shout. And I mean, it's just, you hate to leave anybody out, right? Because, which is funny thinking back, like after the first couple games, the defense was the thing we were worried about, right? And now looking back on the end of the season, we're like, we had the best defensive line. I mean, those guys were just incredible. The midfield, you know, everybody who played in the midfield, we loved for different reasons, you know, whether it be Gabo or Marcel or Lucas, you know, any of those guys you could point at and go, they saved our butts multiple times and made the attack happen. And then one who was kind of like came alive at the end of the season was Adam. Adam just like lit up at the end of it. Was like, if this season went 4 or 5 more games, you know, he might be looking at Beto numbers, because the dude really figured out kind of the system. And I mean, and that's not even getting to the guys, you know, who played a little bit less minutes, but the squad top to bottom, and maybe all that goes to the recruitment. I think the recruitment this year was flawless.
Yeah,
I mean,
fantastic.
When it comes to culture, when it comes to skill set on the pitch, it was like every single player we had that brought something unbelievably valuable to the squad.
Yeah. Well, that's what Scotty told us at the jersey reveal or whatever it was. Character from the top. And that showed out this year. That showed you had young men that had resolve, that weren't afraid to play from behind, that would rally together in adversity. I mean, a lot of times they could have quit. I mean, Oklahoma, look at that. Could have quit. Yeah. Could have said done. You know, that little run right there, the Brownsville draw, they feel like they could have won it. Could have just said, cash it in. It's just Houston. You know, cash it in. They didn't quit on anything. They wanted more. Those guys went out there and they produced.
Yeah.
You know, adversity be damned. They're going to make it happen. That's what all season long it always felt like. Anytime we'd have, and we didn't trail much, but when we did, we're going to win.
Yeah.
No doubt. You know, just something special about these guys, man.
Yeah. Well, and I think maybe that's the most sad or frustrating point is that, you know, we watched some of the games that happened after, you know, we dropped out of the playoffs, and we go, we would have won that game. Like, there's just no question. We would have won that game. And, you know, I'm sure I think the players know that too. This coaching staff knows that. Every fan in the stadium knows that. And that's what's so, like, heart-wrenching about it is we had a squad that could have gone the entire distance. You know, we could have been watching our guys in the final, and it's just the way the cards fell. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way, but we know we had it in the locker, right?
Oh yeah. Well, again, that's the sport.
Yep.
Yeah, that is the sport, and it's tough to watch games in a tournament that you've been knocked out of. But maybe one encouraging thing about that, I think you're absolutely right. If the players were watching that, they were thinking the same thing. Man, we could have won that game. We could have done more. And I'm sure those guys are all hungry. And, you know, talking about the recruitment, I know we all want to see a lot of these players next year as well and see some of these same players come back. And I'm sure the way this season ended, like a lot of the players, I'm sure they're hungry and want to come back and want to kind of do this all again because we saw what an awesome culture was built.
Yeah, that's the thing. Culture and relationships will bring people together again. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if you had a good set of core guys come back and we start this thing up, maybe mix in some new blood here or there, fill some spots.
Yep.
And, man, let's be even more dangerous. I mean, this thing's a Molotov cocktail just ready to get lit, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. And I will tell you guys, you know, I just returned from the sponsor mixer. My company, BP Supply, was a sponsor this year, and so we were lucky enough to go to the sponsor mixer. And from the mic, it was said by Coach Scotty, you know, I love being your coach this year, and I'm going to love probably being your coach next year. So that's, you know, I don't want to like get too many hopes up because again, we want these guys to progress. We want them to, you know, play at the highest level possible.
Yeah.
NPSL is, you know, 4th tier U.S. soccer. I get it. If a player is so good that they end up progressing on, you know, to bigger, better things. Mm-hmm. As I would take this exact squad, man to man, every single one of them next season. I know it won't be that way. That's fine.
No,
that's
turnover. But
yeah, I would do it though. I would be totally happy if that were the case.
And I'll tell you, I'll never be mad at a guy that goes and betters himself. You know, if Scotty or some of these players they get bumped up level competition, go do it. Don't stop. You're West Texas for life to me. You're vetted. You're here. As much as I hate to say it, you know, I really would love to see the consistency come back, especially with that kind of culture, those kind of people, the right mindset, the right ability. Because, I mean, if Scotty comes back, the coaches come back, Eli and Mateo more than likely, and then you're going to have a handful of players probably follow that. So, I mean, right there, you've got a ready-made problem for a lot of people in the Lone Star Conference.
Yep.
Or, you know, whatever we may be doing next season. Because
then you don't have that break-in period, right, of those first 3-4 games. Yeah.
No, and you get these young men like Adam, who is 18, going to be 19. Beto, 18, going to be 19. Leo, 19, going to be 20. You know, all these young men are going to develop another year by that time. And you can only imagine how dangerous that would be.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. Come on, man.
Yeah, if we can get some of that young talent back, for sure. That's going to be really, really exciting.
Yeah. So when you look back at the season, what stands out as kind of a highlight of the season? A moment, a game, you know, one of these kind of opportunities that we get to hang out with the players. What's one moment, you know, that stands out to you guys?
I want to take Apia and Lubbock getting in the head of the center back and the left. I don't know. That's not my only one, but just that moment, just watching him and just realizing at that moment it clicked the maestro he was, and not only as a forward, but to be able to get in people's heads. And how frustrated that dude got. And for him to dap him up at the end of the game and say, dude, you had me. You got me. You got in my head the whole game. I was like, that was a real fun one. I have another one, but I just want to throw that one out early just because I couldn't stop smiling just thinking about it.
What's your other one?
Oh, I want to say Beto's goal against Lubbock in the open goal we had here at home, where he just kind of muscled past the keeper, getting dragged down by the keeper, and just boom, flicked. That right there showed me resolve. It showed me willpower. It showed me something special about that young man. You'd seen a lot of cool little runs and things like that, but that one also stands out in my head, just clear as day.
Yeah, if West Texas FC was to the degree where, you know, we built statues of legends, I think Apia would be the first player that we put in bronze, right? The guy is just, I mean, you can't meet a better person. And the way he played the game was just the way I want to do life, pro.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, a highlight, I think I already mentioned this and talked about it when we had Appia and Lucas on, but man, that game in Oklahoma, I was happy and thrilled to be at that game. Stressed throughout that game because it was so back and forth, and Oklahoma scored those 3 second half goals and tied it, and then we ended up winning it late on that PK. That game was super memorable, and kind of a wild back and forth game. Similarly, kind of like you were saying with our last game of the season, that just roller coaster of emotions, but ended on a high note, getting the victory. But that for me, just being able to be there, I hope. If the conference stays the same, if we're playing against Oklahoma, I hope we can take more fans up there because that was a cool experience. And I was just happy to be there with my brother and a few other people who were cheering on West Texas, and then to celebrate with the players afterwards was a lot of fun. So definitely that game in Oklahoma.
Yeah, if they get that schedule out early, I'm reserving days off. We're going.
Yeah.
We're going to Arkansas. There. We're going to Oklahoma. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, and then to hear when the players come back and go, Oklahoma's the real deal. Like they are that good on the pitch, and they are that class off the pitch, right? Like, almost saying like that's a new rival, because they play the game at a level that we want to compete with, and they play it in such a way that we 100% respect those guys. So that definitely. I'm with Brian. As soon as that schedule comes out, it's like
vacation,
whatever those days are.
Vacation.
Yep. Yeah. I think for me, it was Lubbock away. I mean, that was a magical evening. My first away game, to win the Destico, to win the Lone Star Conference away with a lot of, Lubbock fans in the stadium. Being able to unfurl the Dueños del Destico banner, having all of the West Texas fans so tightly packed, it just felt like so much camaraderie, so much just kind of family, like, I don't know, so much passion. And then when we win it, and the players, to see them kind of come over and jump into the stands, and I don't know, man, I don't know that I'll ever forget that. My son was right next to me. He's screaming along with me. I mean, it was just like, and then we go out and celebrate the rest of that night playing video games and just talking about how much fun I mean, it's just, moments like that are why I'm willing to put so much time, effort, and my finances into something like this, right? That was payoff and then some.
Absolutely.
And what a game. And you could point to multiple, some of Appia's goals, some of Beto's goals. Watching Leo and Beto play together, that was
shake
just...
and bake, baby.
Shake and bake. Golly. It's just beautiful stuff to be able to watch in real time. And as a soccer fan for a really long time, the fact that I get to watch that in my hometown, because that hasn't been a reality for very long. And to watch it at that level and to watch players who are this good is just something really special. So, but that Lubbock away, that was something else, man. It was good. And I'll say Lubbock, from the coaching staff to the players to the fans, were top class at the game. I know you guys weren't there, but they were celebrating as they should, right? It was a hard-fought game that they won. They get to move on in the playoffs, and I got to go shake those guys' hands. They gave me hugs. The Lubbock coach, David, came over and shook my hand and told me, you guys had a hell of a team this season. Really well done. And even Scotty after the game was like, those guys were classy in victory and humble and kind of and enjoyed it, right? Like, as you should. And so that was just a really nice ending to the season, if it's going to end that way, right? Like, it's the best version of a bad situation. And so that definitely left a good taste in my mouth. And obviously the Mozos, we've got a great relationship with. We wouldn't be an SG, I don't think, at this level if we didn't have those guys supporting us and giving us advice. So, just man, I'm just filled with positivity, and I am itching to start right now to make next season even better, because I believe the road is just up.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you, man, it's going to take some work. We can do it, though.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Right now, it won't feel like so much of an off season if we do all the things that we want to do. A little help in the community, working with some stuff. I still want us to actually come together and talk about some of the players, how they're playing in their schools.
Yep.
The podcast ain't stopping because this season's over. So we're going to talk Prim. We're going to talk local soccer. We're going to be talking all sorts of stuff. Hell, we may throw some stuff. My son's club team in here. We need some filler in space. Let's go.
And throughout the fall, too, like you're saying, talking about some of the players, right? I was already, just this week, kind of starting to look at players who their schools have released their schedules and stuff, just looking at that. I'm super excited to be watching those players, paying attention to how they're doing and that sort of thing, following along, and that'll be really exciting throughout the fall.
And bless up to the schools that have the little calendar drop link on there, because I love that feature where I can go drop in, like Scotty's school he's going to. Drew, okay, got that in my calendar. I know where he's going to be coaching. All right, let me go find this guy. Bloop, let's just import that in. My calendar's going to look crazy, but at least I'll know when the guys are playing.
That's right. When he was talking tonight about the schedule that they're looking at, he's playing against Virginia, against Stanford, UConn. It's like these are unbelievably legit games that we get to watch our gaffer, in those games. Like, I mean, we have so much to talk about. So, the podcast isn't stopping. La Tormenta is only, all gas, no brakes, right? Starting right now. And so hopefully we can get some more people on board, because it's as much their thing as it is our thing, right? And I think people, there's a lot of support in this community for the sport, right? Which is what we're all about. We're about enhancing soccer in West Texas. And so getting to get into high school games, getting into, club teams that are around here, getting into MSA and kind of how we can help that. And I think the club is really pushing hard for that too. I know they talked tonight about Scotty's going to do a free kind of seminar with local coaches, right, where they can log in and he can kind of offer some advice. He can take some questions. He can talk about some different strategies, so that, some of the coaches who maybe have never coached soccer, even if you're a soccer fan, to coach it is a different thing. I'm sure, Chris, you could speak to that better than anybody. But like having a guy like Scotty just to be able to offer some words of advice to our local coaches, so that our entire community with this sport gets kind of raised up. That's what all this stuff is about. So that's really exciting to hear from him.
Dude, I'm an assistant coach on my 6-year-olds team. I would love that information.
And you'll get it from the gaffer himself, man. From the Aussie.
All the notes.
Yeah, that type of feedback or teaching, right, is invaluable. And for him to give back to the community like that is awesome. And like you're saying, like that's our goal too as an SG, is just to keep promoting soccer here in this community and in West Texas more broadly, because there's a lot of kids playing soccer, a lot of not just kids, right? Adults as well, some who are playing soccer, but a lot of people watching soccer. That's our goal, is just to bring everybody together. So I'm excited about that too, to keep growing this throughout the off season, connecting people, watching soccer, whether, like you said, if it's Premier League or like we got together last night for the MLS All-Star game versus Liga MX, like having watch parties like that, or watching games in person at various levels. I'm excited for that throughout the off season.
Yeah. And some of the things to be looking forward to, let me just plug the Discord. If you've never used Discord, it's essentially like I think of it like the old AOL chat rooms, but, for only people who are in La Tormenta or at least interested in it. And so if you're curious about soccer, if you're a soccer fan and just want to connect with the community, go to the website latormentasg.com. And there's a link to the Discord, and you can join it there. And that's kind of the best way to stay up on everything. I think we do a good job kind of posting any opportunities, whether it's, watch party or, we're going to have a Premier League fantasy group. I'm sure Chris will start a MLS fantasy group once that season kind of starts over. MLS fantasy is like blows my brain. I can't figure it out, man. But whatever your flavor of the sport is, like there are people who also care deeply about it, and it's just a way to meet people. It's a way to kind of have a conversation and build community around something really silly, right? It's a bunch of people kicking a ball. But what's not silly at all are the real human connections that we can make within our community and just be able to enjoy something that's silly. And that's super fun and enjoyable. So make sure that you check that out.
Yeah, even if you're not a soccer fan, you just like being loud and hanging out with people. We do that. You want a place to go and something to cheer for? You don't even know the rules? Hell, nobody knows what offsides is in soccer, really. Just come cheer. Just do it. Come hang out. We got good people. We got loud people. We got quiet people. We got musical people. Let's go. Just come hang out.
That's right.
And two other things that I'll plug, too. I think you already kind of mentioned this, Luke, but anybody who's listening or those who are already kind of involved with La Tormenta or want to be involved more, like we want to continue building this and build out our board, right, and build out our organization and like bring in others who want to serve in kind of leadership roles. So watch out for that, like calls for that throughout the off season, because we definitely want to kind of like bring in more voices so we can share the load in terms of work and tasks that we need to be working on as well. And kind of related to that, just other projects. One of which is merch, right? We got some patches.
Right.
Yeah, look at those.
We'll be dropping information about those in the Discord. And we have a pretty small run at the moment, so we want to see how many people are interested, in putting together a cut like this one behind me, or using it in whatever way you want. But we might have other projects, whether it's other merch, like t-shirts. I love this West Texas t-shirt that they put out this year in yellow, but maybe something for La Tormenta. And then also like banners or other things, or working on songs and getting together for chant practice throughout the off season. Like there's projects that we can work on. So if you want to be involved, connect on Discord, watch for information, and we'll have projects to work on as we very, very patiently wait for the 2026 season.
Yep. Those projects help pass the time, man. We're painting banners. We're working on chants. I mean, learned a lot through this season about, hey, it'd be really nice to walk in the season with some really planned up chants that about 20-something people knows, because then it can echo.
Yeah.
So right now we got some cool ones. We got some borrowed ones, but I'd like to get some originals going.
Yep.
So there's that. And then painting like what we did with those signs this year, Chris. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Just spending a few hours here, a few hours there, just talking with soccer on in the background and just painting stuff up. It's cool. Yeah. I mean, and then serving the community when we get a chance. Like we had that little 5v5 volunteer thing. We're taking out trashes, cleaning bathrooms. That's going to be another thing we're going to be doing this year is more community work. So if you're down for some community service, come on. We'll find some more things to do. Won't be hard.
That's right. Yeah, and even tonight, I think I would be remiss if I didn't speak to the level of support that the club and La Tormenta got from Tall City Brewery. Tall City has just and Steven at Tall City is a member of La Tormenta. Those guys, they have been unbelievable this season, as they always have been.
Yeah.
But the way that they want to support the supporters group as well as the club, I think is monumental. So, I met Brian. I met another Man United fan tonight at Tall City.
Wash your hands afterwards.
I did. And as soon as someone goes, "Oh, you're Liverpool," I'm like, "Oh, I know what team you support." And then he goes, "Man, y'all's signings. It's ridiculous." And I was like, "Hey, you got Mbomo, right?"
I'm happy with that. Just leave,
But he even after we kind of like got done with a little bit of ribbing was like, "Hey, how about let's see if they'll open the brewery for the Manchester Liverpool game? That'd be fun, right?" And I'm like, "Dude, that sounds awesome!" Like. And again, just to be able to make those human connections with other people who are fans of the sport, and we get to watch some games together. I'm not intense enough to get mad at somebody who roots for my rival. I just get excited because someone else cares about the sport, And I think that's a lot of us. So it's a very inclusive. Come on in if you enjoy, like you said, Brian, if you enjoy hanging out with other people, if you enjoy the sport, if you enjoy specific teams, guaranteed you'll find your people in La Tormenta. And it's not a exclusive club, right? It's an open door kind of policy. So I hope more people will take advantage of that in the off season.
Yeah, we're not hazing anybody to get in. We're not doing anything crazy. I mean, like I said, you don't even have to know much about soccer. You want to drink a couple beers and try to figure it out? We're the people to come talk to.
Yeah.
You know? So we just want to be that. We want to be that part of the community that, let's rally up and go. And it's really easy to be that cool about it, Luke, when you have a powerhouse. I'm just saying,
It is easier right now. I'll be honest. It's pretty easy right now. Yeah, if you're a Newcastle fan, you're still invited. I'm sorry. Right? I don't get it either. But come on, let's hang out and let's chat about it. I've been in those seasons, man. The Gerrard slip against Chelsea, we all know what it feels like. And now, especially if you were at that Lubbock game, you know what that feels like. And so there's a lot of empathy. And we will give you a hard time. And it's all in good fun. And that's how it ought to be.
I mean, we poke fun all the time. Nobody gets mad about it. Just, just good fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Well, gents, we've got a lot more exciting things to come. We're hoping to get a word with, do an episode with Scotty soon and kind of get his take on the season as a whole and just kind of hear from the gaffer himself. But that'll be coming soon, and or at least we're planning on that coming soon.
Yes.
But before we end this episode, any last words on kind of your take on the season as a whole?
I think we've said what needs to be said. I've said what needs to be said. I mean, just proud, man. So happy about this season and bummed that it is over, right? It goes by so fast. So thrilled with the season as a whole and wish it could continue.
Yeah. We said it from the jump, 10-0 or 0-10. We got the back of the club, got the back of the coach, got the back of the players. The word I want to use for this year was special.
Yep.
Because it was. It was special watching my family get more involved. Hell, doing this with you guys. We just kind of figured out a supporters group this year, guys. This is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Getting to know the players, getting to know more about them, their, where they're from, what they're doing, what they care about. That's always special to me. Meeting new people in the stands, special.
Yeah.
To see what happened when we weren't there for another group to fill that spot, step up, and take the reins, special. I mean, it may not have ended the way we wanted, but dude, it's special.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about it being so special is it can be even better next year too.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But the way this club is ran from the top to the bottom, Jason Molina, Melissa, Scotty, class, they're all special. Special.
Yep.
And I cannot wait to see what 2026 has for us in this club.
Yep.
Dude, I'm so excited, so ramped up. Ready for it to be all gas, no brakes, all over again. Maybe a new catchphrase by next season, but we'll see. I like this one.
I don't know, man. I feel like we're just all gas from now till who knows when, right? Into next season. And I'm really glad you mentioned the Cannons and Melissa, the whole infrastructure of the team. I feel like when we've talked to them, we've been lucky enough to be invited to some kind of planning meetings and this was a great season, but this isn't anywhere near where we're going to stop. Right. Mm-hmm. This is a launch off point. I can see my buddy about to double bounce me. So how do we do that? And I think how we feel is how the club feels. And there just seems to be so much synergy between everyone involved that I think things are only going to speed up from here. And that's really exciting. And I think it means really, really special things for the West Texas community going forward, especially if you're a fan of this game. And I think even if you're not, it's going to be a movement that is going to be really fun to be a part of. So, and this is the time to get in, right? We have kind of unprecedented access. And, I got to hang out with Justin Majeski tonight, and Scotty at the same time, it's just like so crazy to me that I get to hang out with these guys, get to know them, and Justin echoed what all the players echoed, which was, I really hope it works out for me to come back, because this place is incredible. These people are fantastic. I really love being here in Midland, Texas, right? Where husbands fly their wives in at night so that they don't see what this place looks like. These players from all over the world want to play here because something special is brewing out here in West Texas.
And I want to make sure to touch on that before we wrap.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the camera for this. Every single one of you players, every one of you guys, the thank yous, the posts, man, it damn tear to my eye. Y'all, again, were what made this so special. We loved having you in our community. Would love to have you back. Thank you for making us feel like you were welcome. Thank you for sharing your summer with us. Thank you for the moments and the memories that were made. That right there, guys, my kids are going to talk about this for years. Long into their future soccer playing careers, guys. That is special. Those thank you posts, they mean the world. Seeing it, the boot scoot boogie background noise, to see this guy, this one, that one, man. Even Nana, that was here for about a match or two, said, man, just felt like home in his post. I was like, that is special.
Yeah, all those posts
have
been awesome to see. It's been really cool.
How fitting, too, that as you say that, we can hear the thunder in the background. Because
Tormenta,
we are La Tormenta. We don't fear the storm because we are the storm.
We're bringing it.
We're bringing it. So with that, guys, this isn't even a farewell. This is just we'll see you very, very soon. And we will continue to try to do everything we can to just ride this wave, because it is a fantastic wave to be on. So, and I'm really appreciative of you guys for being on this wave with me. This would be brutal by ourselves, and it's lovely that we have so many awesome people, because as Brian is pointing out, West Texas is the
best Texas.
Is the best Texas. So
yes.
With that, we will call it an evening.